Senthil Ji, the Chief Business Development Officer from KFin, joining us, KFin Technologies, to talk to us about what their business is looking like. And Senthil, hi. First up, wishes for the new year. Hope this year is bigger, better, brighter for you and the company. But I just wanted to begin by asking you, do you think it will really be bigger, brighter when it comes to the kind of IPO inflows that we saw last year, the kind of DEMAT additions and SIP additions that we saw? Because, of course, that has an impact on your earnings as well.
So, first of all, thanks to ET Now and ET Now viewers for having me on the show. So, coming specifically to your question, so definitely, first of all, on the global macros and the Indian macros looks very, very favorable. So, the Indian economy has been growing at close to about 7% and expected to grow in this trajectory for at least next to 3 to 4 years as per the prediction. And we also expect that like India would be the third largest economy by 2030. So having said this, on the global macro and domestic macro factors favoring, so definitely the number of companies which are going public and the markets are also conducive. So definitely this trend would continue. The number of DEMAT accounts would continue to increase significantly. And more importantly, the number of companies which are coming from private to public would also see a significant increase. And there are few developments which has happened recently also, like recent regulations by SEBI in terms of making alternate investment funds, also the investors in alternate investment funds to have a DEMAT account. So will also fuel the growth of DEMAT account additions in the country. And there is one more regulations in terms of all private companies should have their accounts in dematerialized form by October 2024. So all these things will be favorable trends to watch out for.
Right. In fact, this point, I'd like to scratch that point a little more, that the unlisted companies also need to be in the DEMAT form. The number of unlisted companies in India is way more, many times more than the listed universe. So the volume which may come your way could be big. I'll come over there. But before that, I understand you also launched a new software for AIF. Now, what is happening is that because of the very vibrant markets, almost a dozen CIOs and fund managers every quarter are going on their own. They are kind of becoming entrepreneurs, launching AIFs. The slew of new AIFs are being launched. How is that product likely to give you? How is that big an opportunity for you? Is it like a recurring opportunity as well, or just a one-time? How does that work for you in terms of business?
So just before delving into that, let me give an overview of the industry to get an understanding. See, overall, if you see the alternate industry, since the regulations came in 2012, so we have seen a significant amount of growth. And as we speak, we are close to about 8.5 lakh crores to 9 lakh crores of commitments across Cat 1, Cat 2 and Cat 3. So last 3 years growth, if you see, it's close to about 36% CAGR. And whereas mutual funds have grown at the rate of close to about 13 to 14%. Okay. So the factors which are driving this growth are predominantly manifold, but I would like to quote few of them. One, as I mentioned, the overall economy is growing. Secondly, if you see, the number of ultra HNI investors in India has been increasing significantly. And large proportion of their investable surplus, the disposable income, is being parked in alternate investment funds. The study which has shown close to about 26% of their investment surplus is parked in some form or other in alternate investments. And more importantly, not only the investments which have been invested, the alternate investment funds also, because of the nature of investments, they are uncorrelated with the traditional asset classes. So more and more large investors are looking alternate investments as a
But the other part that Ajay was talking about in terms of the unlisted entities also coming under the ambit, when do you see this happening and how big a potential could it really be for you, Senthil?
See, in terms of unlisted companies, currently, if you see like overall capital markets, like we have in excess of close to about 5,000 odd listed companies. So if you take these unlisted companies based on the criteria, net worth criteria, which is being prescribed by SEBI, at least you would see like tenfold increase in the number of companies which are likely to open ISINs and DEMAT accounts in the next 1 year or so. So that's the kind of magnitude which we are looking at in the next 1 year. So there is a huge potential and huge opportunity. And not only on the unlisted space, even as I mentioned, alternate investment funds also. So all the investors are mandated to compulsorily dematerialize their units. So both these aspects will give us a big amount of impetus in the coming months.
See those growth drivers, but coming back to your so-called bread and butter, which is the mutual fund RTA business, because that forms bulk of your revenue as well, there was that pricing pressure that people were anticipating to happen on account of those SEBI norms. For now, it hasn't really happened, but seems like it is something which is a bit of an overhang. How do you rate the pricing pressure right now with respect to the MFRT activities?
See, as of now, there is not much of a pricing pressure, I would say. Like the whole industry was expecting there would be some sort of TER cuts which would come. But like that news also fizzled down. So as of now, we are not seeing that much of a repricing or price downward revision as far as the RTAs are concerned, as long as the TERs are intact.
So on that note, we'll let you go. Appreciate you making time and speaking with us.